Back in the 1950s and the early 60s, in a town known as Nub City, where people would dismember themselves in order to collect insurance payouts. In the insurance fraud world, they called it malingering by amputation, and it's a rare form of insurance fraud, but this town was responsible for like more than 2/3 of loss of limb accident claims in the whole United States. Vernon, Florida, a small town with a population of 800 people or less, is where this insurance scam ran rapid, and it was so extensive that they had to name the town Nub City. They say that this came about because of the town's economic situation, and the town was in a financial crisis because it relied on steamboats and railroads that passed through Vernon, where a lot of the money came into the town, and they had a local sawmill as well that gave many people jobs that also closed down. So how some believe this started was from someone losing a limb and receiving a large payout from their life insurance policy. So that person told another person about their payout, and then it started to spread through the town that such and such got a bunch of money from losing a body part, and people started thinking, if I lost a body part, I can get paid. And this became enticing to the people in Vernon. So they started to get multiple insurance policies on themselves, or bigger payout policies. And they would get these policies just hours or days before a horrible accident would happen to them. Some people would hack their limbs off, saw their limbs off, and shoot their limbs off for a big payout. And then when they filed the claim and the insurance company would ask them what happened, they would come up with some wild stories. Like one dude said that he shot off his hand while he was trying to aim for a hawk. Another dude said that he shot off his foot because he thought it was a squirrel. And as crazy as it sounds, it was working. The insurance company started paying $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and then it started going higher. $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, and the higher that this money went, the crazier the stories had to be. And this self-mutilation orgy lasted over 3 years of people collecting these big payouts. So the claims got up to like $100,000, and the insurance company was like, nah, bruh, this is not happening no more. This is not normal, and there's no way that this is happening. So Continental National American Insurance Company sent their top insurance investigator named John Joseph Healy in to investigate these outlandish claims. When he got to the city, he would pull on the side of the road and watch, and he would see about a dozen cripples walking down the street. He said it was eerie. It was like Night of the Living Dead. He saw people missing feet, arms, hands, and eyes. He said that the second best thing to do in Vernon was to gather in the town square and watch dogs mate, and the top activity in Vernon was self-mutilation for cash. Healy also said a big clue of someone filing a phony insurance claim is that usually people take off the thing that they need least. If they're right-handed, they take off their left hand. If they have a job where they're sitting down, they take a leg off or a foot, not the arms. So Healy solved this case pretty quickly, but by then more than 50 people were maimed and now part of the Nub Club. There was one guy who filed insurance policies with over 28 plus companies. So I know what you're thinking. Are the companies that stupid? While Healy and the insurance companies did catch on fast to these scams, and the insurance companies were taking members of the Nub Club to court on these phony filings, but the problem was convincing the jury that poor amputees could get a firearm and point it to their appendage and blow off their body parts just to file a claim. It sounded unbelievable. So they were losing cases left and right, and it was impossible to convict them, and not a single person in the Vernon area was convicted of fraud. And there were a bunch of cases, like one person filed a garage mishap that cost them a limb. There were hunting accidents, and one man maimed his foot while trying to protect his chickens. So a lot of the accidents were from firearms, as it's easier to shoot yourself than to saw your limbs off. Another man lost 2 of his limbs with his tractor and his rifle. Even a trustworthy farmer got in on the action and on the con, and he lost a foot. He said that he was driving around his farm in his manual pickup truck, but the day of the accident he was driving his wife's automatic transmission car, and he lost his left foot controlling the car because he wasn't used to driving it. And if he was in his truck, he would have used that foot for the clutch. He also had a tourniquet in his pocket, and they asked him why did he have that tourniquet in his pocket, and he said because of snakes, just in case he got bit by a snake. They say that he was taking out so much insurance that his premiums cost more than what he was making on a middle class income, and he cashed out for more than $1 million from all the companies that he filed with. Eventually, this con stopped because in the late 1960s, the insurance rates were too high and the insurers stopped doing business in Nub City. And for the claims that went through, people were making just a tiny bit of money. And then it eventually went to people collecting nothing at all. So what do you think about Nub City? I want to know what you think about this story. Please leave me your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe, hit the bell button, like and share, and thank you for watching another episode of Wild Shh.